Welcome to Dirty Rush, the truth about sorority life, with your hosts, me, Gia Giudice,
Daisy Kent,
and Jennifer Kessler.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another week of Dirty Rush. Rush is going around all over the country, so we want to tell you guys what goes into the preparation of Rush before it begins. Candace is going to tell us about the pre-Rush process. She is starting Rush tomorrow. So she is going to tell us about all the preparation that she's been doing to get ready to bring in these PNMs.
Hi. So I'm on exec in my sorority at Berkeley. So we've been here for the last 8 days. We move in one day earlier than the rest of the members of my sorority. And basically, we run through every single day of sorority recruitment. So we have like the first 2 days that we call Unity, the second day, which is the sisterhood round, third, philanthropy, pref, all of that type of stuff.
Yes.
For the past 8 days, it's basically been like a 9 to 5 job, teaching all of our new members the rituals for each round and kind of how it works, teaching them about bump groups.
Oh my God. Bump groups brings me back. I literally wrote it on my hand, like my name, my group's name, and I would cross out like each name, and then I would be like, okay, so you would associate yourself by number. Is that how you guys do it? Like for your bump group, okay, by letter. Yeah. So we did it by number. So it was like 1, 2, 3. Typically, like what? There's 3 or 4 people to a bump group, and so it would be like, okay, Gia, you're after Michaela, and then there's Avery, and then okay, then 1 is gonna bump 3, and then now 3 is gonna bump 2, and I would just, they would look at me, and I'd be like, okay, it's my time to go out.
Gosh, the locations, it's like blue couch by left door, behind composite, outside. So you have to remember every single part, and if you mess it up, like you might be stuck talking to the same girl for the entire 40-minute round. So hopefully it all goes to plan, but it's basically been a 9 to 5 job for the last 7 days.
Of course. And then I feel like you could also, rely on the other people in your group to kind of help you out and to kind of guide you. But I love the hand system. You just write some stuff on your hand.
Gosh, I feel like I would sweat it off. I would literally be dripping down my arm. I'd be sweating it off. I get so nervous with that type of stuff. It's just like internal dialogue in my head.
Or even like reminders on your phone. Like, okay, now go to here.
But they actually take away our phones during recruitment.
So really?
You can, like, if you wanted to sneak your phone like in like the shorts that you're wearing under your dress, like that would be a major no-no. So they make us like leave our phones in like a basket in the kitchen. So you read the sheet once of where you need to be and the girl that you're talking to, and then you better remember it or else you're gonna mess it up.
Yeah, I don't remember if we got our phones taken away. That's crazy. I don't remember.
So you're phoneless the entire day for all of the rounds. So hopefully you get to catch up with everyone afterwards, but there's no time in between.
I feel like the biggest thing is getting those bump groups down.
Oh my gosh, seriously. And then I feel like the people who are crafting these bump groups, it is so meticulous. It's like you want the same. You can't have the same type of personality in the same group. You don't want the same grade. Coincidentally, like one of the people in my bunk group is from my same hometown, which was probably
a big no. Yeah.
Yes. It's the different personalities, the different locations, different majors, all that type of stuff.
Because you're supposed to go into it kind of blind. And especially going to Rutgers and being from New Jersey, Rutgers is Big Ten in Jersey. So everyone knew everyone. So it was so difficult. There were some of my best friends in my sorority that were from my hometown. And then you just have the surrounding towns from my town that also went to Rutgers. Like Rutgers was flooded with people from my town, Fairfield, East Hanover. So many surrounding towns that were near my town. And you just hear of familiar faces and people, and this one knows this one. So like small world. Everyone knows everyone. And it was super difficult. I give whoever does those bump groups a lot of credit.
Seriously. And then as a PNM, when you're going into a house, if you know someone from your hometown, it's that whole thing of like, do I acknowledge that I know them? Am I not supposed to acknowledge that I know them? What if I have to talk to them? Am I supposed to? Because I
A
feel like there's a
hundred
stigma
percent.
around saying like, oh, that person's from my hometown.
There is. And then if you know this person, you also have to monitor what you're saying to them because during rush, you're not allowed to talk about going out and social life and boys. And it's so difficult when you're standing there and you know the person and you're gonna be like, so how's your chem class going? When it's like, you're already on such a different level where you're almost like you almost get like, I don't know. I feel like when that happened, you're almost like, okay, screw the questions. Like, how was the mixer yesterday? Like, are you enjoying your freshman year?
Yes, if they're chill, definitely. I can't imagine having the same traditional conversation with someone you already know. But because Cal is largely in state, I mean, obviously we have international, out of state, but a lot
Yes.
of people are from California. So you're going to know people. And it's just that whole thing of like, do I acknowledge that I know you or do I acknowledge that I know your friend? And then you risk giving that member like a weird vibe that like, you know someone here, so you think you might belong.
Well, 100%, because then when you also get into things like that, you don't want to give the potential new members false hope. And then that's when it gets very difficult and tricky.
Yeah, I feel like there's just been all of these crazy rules that we've been having to remind all of our new members as they go through this work week of like, you can't let them take anything out of the house. You can't let them take a napkin, even if they used it. Like everything has to stay in because we would get such a large fine for it. So you can't really do anything.
No, definitely. I completely agree. Do you want to talk about maybe each day?
Sure.
Because I feel like the bump groups, no matter like the bump groups are the most important part, I feel like, to preparing. The newest class is typically responsible, but sometimes I feel like I did it my junior year as well. And I want to say even my senior year.
Yes. So pretty much all of our active members participate in Rush.
Yeah.
They're mixed in evenly. So for the last 7 days, we've been going through how to bump correctly. We've been going through run-throughs of each day. So typically on the first 2 days are the days where the PNMs get to talk to the most amount of girls.
That's like the biggest speed dating day. I feel, what is it? It's like, is it 5 minute rounds?
So the entire round, I believe, is 35 minutes, but you're talking to four girls and you need
Yes.
time. You need to allot time to come into the house for the girls to do the chant or whatever, and time for them to leave because if you're late, PHC will fine you. So it's like drill sergeant day by day. And so for the last 7 days, we've spent spending the entire day going through each party. So like we'll do a unity, we'll do a sisterhood day, we'll do a philo day, we'll do pref, and we just repeat those over and over and over. And it's almost like drill sergeant, our VP of recruitment. She's awesome, but she definitely has to be stern and strict. But also, I feel like because recruitment is about to start, obviously the dry period is upon us. And so I feel like everyone was really
Yeah,
eager to go out every night and be active in the social scene before they could no longer. And
for
so,
sure.
like, a lot of people are showing up a little bit hungover, but at least they're having a good time.
No, definitely. Because then while recruitment is going on, nobody can go out, nobody can drink. And then that's a big risk for even your potential new members because while they're going through the rush process, they also need to participate in dry week as well as members that are already in sororities. So it's pretty dry on campus, I feel like, for that week, or for at least whoever participates in Greek life.
Seriously, and I feel like even if you were to like drop something off at your boyfriend's house, if he lived at a frat, if someone got a picture of you, you would be totally done for. I feel like everyone's super strict about that and they want to hold other sororities to the rule. So I feel like you're always looking over your shoulder, being like, I really hope no one sees me or like no one takes this out of context.
No, 100%, 100%. There definitely is a lot that goes into it. And the people on the back end, especially exec, who are really deep diving, planning each day, making sure everything is coordinated, it's a lot of pressure.
Seriously, I feel like all of our exec has been working all summer to get this all prepped, especially like our VP of recruitment.
Yeah.
And so she is living and breathing recruitment, and even our house manager. Like we have a whole day dedicated to scrubbing the walls with like Mr. Clean Magic erasers to get rid of the scuffs, to like mow the lawn, to get rid of the leaves. Like I feel like there's so much more preparation than just memorizing party flows. You have to clean up your house. You have to check everyone's room to make sure
Yeah.
they look acceptable and clean. There's just so many things that we
Because
all,
then there's the house tours and everything.
yes, teaching the new members who haven't done the house tours what rooms to show, what rooms not to show. Definitely don't take them by the bathrooms. They don't need to see the laundry room, like
Yeah.
things you wouldn't even think about. So there's definitely a lot of preparation that we've been doing.
Do you kind of want to walk through each day and kind of just explain what each day looks like during recruitment?
Yes.
And then kind of like explain like what preparation is like mainly instilled for each day.
Yes. So the way that Berkeley does recruitment is our first day of recruitment is on the first day of classes, which is today. So today the PNMs are meeting with their ROCIs, meeting the rest of their group, kind of getting acclimated, but they're not actually visiting any of the houses. That happens tomorrow and the next day, which is called the Unity Round. So, the Unity Round, the way that Berkeley does it is they get to go to every single house. It's split up over 2 days because I believe we have about 13 houses.
I think Rutgers had about the same.
Yeah, so it's about 35-minute parties. Every girl has to go into every single house. You're talking to about four girls. It's very, very quick. It's the speed dating round. After each round, each collegian will go and vote on their PNM on an online platform, and then it's just round after round after round. So after those first 2 days of Unity Days, we'll get callbacks for Sisterhood round. So that round is only one day. I feel like most PNMs go to 6 or 8 houses. That's like the maximum that you can get. And that is the day that we do our house tours. So you're mostly talking to two girls on this day, much longer conversations. They're getting to know you better. You're getting to know our house, kind of how our sisterhood is in general, how strong it is. And then after all of those rounds, we're voting as well. So then callbacks for the third day, our philanthropy round. As each round goes on and on, they get longer and longer, and you're having more personable, personalized, intimate conversations with the PNM. It's not as speed dating as Unity.
Exactly. And as each round goes on, if you are forming a connection with this person, let's just say that you have talked to now since day one. So then pref round is the last round where you will talk to this girl for 45 minutes. And this is like your time to shine. Like you have to seal the deal on getting this girl during that round because she's either going to pick this your sorority or another one. Or she could suicide bid, which is obviously really scary because the sorority also needs to want you too. So during that whole thing, the last round, philanthropy round, is really the round where you are trying to grab the girls that you want.
Yes, and there is such a steep drop off from philanthropy to pref night. You have to basically cut the girls that you have returning in half, if not more. And so the girls coming back on pref, we are assuming we 100% want them. If you're back on pref, it's because we want you and we're trying to gauge if you want us. And then on pref, you're talking to a girl you've talked to in a different round. It's very, very rare that you would ever be prefed by somebody you hadn't talked to in an earlier round. So that also goes into matching. So after you vote on a PNM, you can write in your notes, hey, I think she would do great with blah, blah, blah. So it's never a coincidence after those first few rounds who you talk to, because we're actively thinking about who, as a sister, you would be compatible with and who could get you to join the house. So After pref, I mean, pretty much all the rules are out the window. It depends sorority by sorority, but the way that my sorority does it is no questions off the table. Obviously, there's things that you're told to avoid during the other rounds of recruitment. You're not supposed to talk about boys, you're not supposed to talk about parties, you're not supposed to talk about politics, all the things people tell you not to talk about. But I feel like on pref, you want them to have a transparent view of what this sorority is and actually know what they're getting into. And so if it's really not for them, then they don't join and they end up joining the house that's better for them. And like the way that Berkeley PHC talks about suicide bidding is like it should never, ever, ever happen
Yeah.
because I believe it moves you down lower on the house's list. So they could still want you, but for some reason it interferes because you didn't rank both houses. So we always tell people, like, even if you know you want this one house and you really, really don't want the other one, to still rank the second house second because it helps your chances of getting into the house that you want to be in. But I'm not sure if it's that way everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, Rutgers does not recommend it either to suicide bid, but I don't think I've ever heard that, which is interesting. But then, I mean, that makes total sense because sometimes people who suicide bid and then don't get the sorority they want, and then later on find out that the sorority actually did want them, but then something got messed up in the computer system. At that point, it's like almost too little too late. And then you need to hope that they'll offer you a COB in the future. So it definitely does get sticky. It's definitely not recommended at all to suicide bid, like at all.
Yes.
But yeah, but that's also interesting that you guys say all bets off the table during pref round because but also I think it was kind of like an unspoken rule at that point, especially at Rutgers. Like, okay, we made it through this entire thing. You're also talking to this girl now for longer periods of time each round. By pref round, it's like, okay, we need to spice it up a little bit. Like, this is getting a little boring. I need to start talking to this girl about some fun things and just fun activities instead of just asking her like what she wants to do with her life. So, I mean, I totally get that. And I feel like I also navigated more towards being open with the girls that I was prefing because you want them to also know that they're going to have a great time and there is a lot of, fun moments in the house and it's not always so serious and we don't always have to be so, politically correct while speaking to them during recruitment.
Yes.
Because then you almost start to feel like a robot. It's like, oh my God, I'm talking about the same thing over and over and over again.
Yes, and the P&Ms can definitely tell when you're holding back or you're not saying what you want to say or you're having a
Yeah.
very surface level conversation. So I feel like if you bend the rules a little bit, they feel connected to you and they feel connected to the house. And it just gives more of the transparent vibe that like what you see is what you're going to get and you're going to be happy with it.
100%. Yeah, guys. So the biggest thing during the recruitment process, if you are training for recruitment right now, is definitely your bump groups. Your bump groups determine your entire routine during recruitment. And then it just comes down to being your authentic self and winning these girls to choose your sorority.
This is an iHeart podcast.